In all times, people have loved to dream about the future. Both science fiction writers and scientists made bold predictions that promised incredible prospects for humanity. We can't fully immerse ourselves in the atmosphere of the past century, or read the thoughts of people living at that time. However, through various forms of art, such as paintings and literature, we can gain some insight into what people living 100 years ago or more thought about, how they envisioned the future of humanity, and whether their assumptions about our time were accurate. The world of the future appeared cozy and friendly to people a century ago. Even at the beginning of the 20th century, many things that surround us today were predicted, such as the advent of television. Although practical experiments in this field only began in 1907, a prototype of a television receiver appeared in 1911, and the Russian inventor Zworykin demonstrated the iconoscope in 1923. People also dreamed of machines that could clean with minimal or no human involvement, pushing inventive minds towards new discoveries and experiments. For example, modern vacuum cleaners can replace not only brooms, but also a variety of other manual cleaning tools. It's no secret that people, including our ancestors a century ago, were always fascinated by the sky and the possibility of flight. Today, it's so common that it no longer surprises anyone. French artist Albert Robita's drawings from 1882, titled A Visit to the Opera in the Year 2000, exemplify this fascination with the future. Around the same time, in 1885, a catalog of future flying machines was even released. The image of New York in 2000 from an American magazine, Collier's, in 1901, depicted a future where no one would walk and everyone would move on wheels. This concept bears some resemblance to the modern electric personal transporters, like hoverboards. In 1900, the magazine Brown Continuity Democrat, in December, predicted a future where nobody would walk and everyone would move on wheels. In 1900, Nikola Tesla predicted the emergence of the internet and cellular communication, saying that when the project is completed, a businessman in New York could dictate instructions and they would immediately appear in his office in London or any other place. In contrast, Albert Einstein's remarks about atomic energy now only elicit a smile. He famously stated, "There is not the slightest indication that nuclear energy will ever be obtainable. It would mean that the atom would have to be shattered at will." Today, we not only harness atomic energy but also use it to destroy entities similar to ourselves. In December 1900, an article titled "What Will Happen in the Next 100 Years" by John Watkins was published in the Home Journal. Watkins predicted that photographs conveying natural colors would become widely distributed over any distance through the telegraph. The term photography was first used in 1839, and equipment for capturing and displaying color photos was demonstrated in Berlin in 1902. Digital photography only emerged in 1981. Watkins was confident that people, wherever they may be, would be able to make telephone calls to any point in the world. At the time, there were no international telephone lines of such length, let alone wireless networks. He also foresaw a future where there would be no cars on the streets of major cities, as they would either move underground or several stories above. In large cities, there would be electric buses, and there would be silence in the city. Watkins believed that vegetables would grow quickly due to electric light, which would replace sunlight. This would allow for year-round gardening in glassed-in spaces with strawberries as large as apples. While this did not exactly come to pass, the 20th century did see the development of many new varieties of vegetables and fruits. Watkins also mentioned that cars would be cheaper than horses at the time, and children would ride in automobile sleds during winter. Musical instruments would become automatic, allowing anyone to play them using electric buttons. He didn't mention flying vehicles but believed they wouldn't gain widespread use in passenger transportation due to increased risk. In the 1960s, almost all the devices we use today had already been invented, though some weren't yet in widespread use, such as computers, the internet, automatic transmissions in cars, and wireless communication. This progress in technology has allowed us to see and speak with anyone, regardless of our or their location. The scientific and technological progress often starts in research laboratories and is later realized in real life thanks to scientific genius. If you enjoyed this, we recommend watching our previous video on how contemporary scientists envision the future of humanity and the technologies that will surround our children and grandchildren a century from now.